Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit earlier than usual. We had to get together early this week so that we could have on an awesome guest, Mr. Justin Graver.
The grave digger. Yeah. He's living in Texas now, so different time zone.
Yeah. So, we got to work around this stuff. We're in the middle of the country. Everybody else is all over the place. So
he is Chris Zane.
I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. I was going to get to that eventually, but, you took us there.
Just in case you forgot, we'll jump into it.
Yes, I am Chris Zahn, and he is Chad Lee. We are here. Is episode 131 of Fringe Fanatics. There's a lot going on. Lots of heartbreak this weekend for a lot of people. Last night even, so it continued. There's a lot going on, so we got a lot to talk about, but like I said, we are going to have Justin Graver joining us here in a little bit, but in the meantime, what should we do for the next little bit, Chad?
I think we should just kind of give them a quick little rundown of what we're going to get into this episode, because we do have a lot on the docket. We had an F1 race over the last weekend.
Yeah.
We had a really good UFC fight night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a new band that we're featuring this month as well.
Mm-hmm.
We got a few NFL headlines. Big one with Justin Tucker getting released.
The other one's not so much, but we had to get some other ones in there just to fill it out. But Justin Tucker getting released was the huge news that came out yesterday in the NFL. Other than that, not a lot happening in the NFL. We kind of are in a little bit of a lull as we wait for rookie minicamp and training camp and all those things to start up here. So we'll take advantage of that and deep dive into the NBA playoffs as well as the NHL playoffs. As I'm still reeling from the Game 7 loss to the Stars. That one hurt greatly.
Yeah. Especially by who it was by.
Yeah. Miko, the Moose, ran loose on all of his former teammates and fans' hearts.
Got some revenge.
Got some real good revenge. And they actually did have a little bit of a press conference today to wrap up the end of the year with Joe Sakic and Chris McFarland, and they ended up firing the assistant coach who's in charge of power plays.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
They deemed that to be the major reason as to why the Avs didn't pull it out. Clearly, the Stars were way better on power plays. The Avalanche, I believe, had 3 goals on power plays, and then I believe they had 2 goals when they were shorthanded. So they almost had as many goals while they were on the power play as when, or while they were on the penalty kill as well when they were on the power play. So.
Right.
That sucked.
Yeah, that's not good, man.
Not good, man. Not good.
Yeah, I know how you mentioned Bednar possibly being on the hot seat, but then I did see something where he had just signed an extension, I think like a big extension maybe a year or two ago, so they thought, no,
that don't matter.
Back.
How many NFL teams are still paying coaches?
Yeah, that's true.
I think the Raiders are still paying Gruden.
Yeah. Now he's working for Barstool.
Yeah, and now I saw today, too, he's... is it team president and something else for an arena football team now? So he's slowly
getting back in there, getting his claws back,
working his way back into the good graces. So we'll see if he can actually pull that off, as he's kind of been blackballed, so to speak. But interesting to see if he ever coaches again. He's always a good. His Hard Knocks, like that introductory, like him speaking on Hard Knocks, is still like epic.
Yeah, and
he's a great.
He's
coach.
Really good on Barstool and everything. It's just kind of like what we said before. Hopefully, he's remorseful for the things that happened back in the day. But who knows how much legitimacy there is to a lot of that, because a lot of people, tinfoil hat may think it was kind of
purposely released,
basically, by the NFL, because there was a lot of other people that were
released.
Guilty, other people that did the same thing, but just targeted him. There was a lawsuit, but you can't go up against the Shield.
You can't. You try and go up against the Shield, man, you will kneel to the Shield.
Yes, exactly.
Bow down to the Shield. That's great.
Billions and billions of dollars. They will always win.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, not billions, but hundreds of millions. Did you see where a Colorado fan, has levied a lawsuit against the NFL for $100 million for pain and suffering for him having to watch Shedeur Sanders fall in the draft and all of the, dragging him through the mud and whatnot that happened during the draft. So we'll see how well that works for that guy.
I wish we could find out what fan that is, because I mean, damn, that's gotta suck. Because you have to pay money to file lawsuits.
They've got to be rich.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. Is if it's anybody affiliated?
Yeah,
but they'll try to clean their hands. Somebody affiliated,
or one of the sons.
Yeah, you never know.
Oh, man.
Have we already sent the link to Justin?
Yes.
Cool. All right, it should be any minute. So we'll give a little quick rundown on him. This is, I think, with him coming on now, the most frequented guest we've had on. I think
this is our third time he's been on.
Might be third or fourth. I think it could be third, but very notable, very renowned. He is the producer for the Heed the Call podcast. He was the producer for Around the NFL for years, and then when they left and started Heed the Call, he took over responsibilities for them, and he also has his own podcast that he is a podcaster for, Music City Audible.
Yeah, and very I mean, in terms of like producers in the podcast world, he's up there with like, some of the greats.
Yeah.
So it's an honor that he shares his time with us, and he's going to come on and we're going to talk about the Tennessee Titans and the rip-roaring draft they had this year, as many people think they got a generational guy there in Cam Ward. So we'll be talking to him a bunch about that, as well as, the outlook on the season and things along those lines. Because the Titans, I mean, the Mayo Man's still there, but things are looking up. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what all is going to happen. So it's definitely going to be a pretty good storyline this year. So
yeah, I think with the new coach, this is his second year there. I think there's a little more hope, and I'd like to see someone else come out of that AFC South other than the Texans.
That would be nice. Yeah. So hopefully somebody else can do it, but it's probably going to be the Texans again.
Yeah.
So.
Probably
while we wait, do you want to start getting into the NFL since we don't have much?
Yeah.
Just cruise along real quick.
I'm down, man.
All right, let's get to the headlines here. 1 second. And here we go.
Headlines! Get your headlines here.
That's right. It is time for the headlines, and we're going to get into the NFL right away while we wait for Mr. Justin to join us. Here we go with the NFL.
Are you ready for some football?
You'd better be ready for some football.
It's football, bro.
We got some for you.
Close the file. 69. Offense. He's giving them the business.
You better be ready to strike. And it's actually Tuesday night. Damn it.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeedly doodly. Yes, but NFL headlines this week, we already kind of mentioned it, but Justin Tucker. Oh, wait, we're going.
Here we go.
Here we go. We're ready to go.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man? Can you hear us?
Yes. Sorry, I'm late.
No, you're good, man. No worries. We know you're a busy man. Thanks for coming on, Justin.
Absolutely. Yeah. Appreciate you guys asking for me.
Yeah, of course.
It's our honor to have you. The fact that you grace us with your time is greatly appreciated. So
yes, indeed, man.
Let's get you on screen here. So, whoops, sorry, my bad. There we go. All right, you just saw a weird camera angle there. All right, man. How are you going? How's it going tonight?
Doing well. Doing very well. Thank you guys for having me. How are you guys?
We're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah,
doing
good. Yeah.
Hanging in there. It's a rainy day out here, so it's a little doom and gloomy.
We're kind of coming off the glow of the amazing Aaron Gordon finish last night. So
yeah,
that felt pretty good.
Yeah. That was quite a game up there. Yeah, it's raining here in Texas too, so kind of
we're
annoying.
all in that band, I guess.
That's true, man. How's it been living down in Texas again?
It's nice being close to family and friends and stuff, and having a big house to run around in. We have 4 pets, so cooping them up in an apartment in LA was quite a life. Now we have a backyard for the dogs. I love being here.
Yeah, I listened to the most recent episode of HTC today, and I love Dan's kind of sarcastic tone where he's like, well, Justin had to go and leave, and now he gets to pay less for more space and everything. Like, that's what it's all about, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. All right, well, let's get to it, man. The Titans, #1 pick. How do you feel? Cam Ward, that's your future.
I am a huge fan of Cam Ward. I went into this draft class kind of like everyone else, thinking the quarterbacks were not that great, and man, what a bad year to get the #1 overall pick. And then I actually started watching the film in early January, and it took me all of like a game and a half to just fall in love with Cam Ward. And the more I studied his tape and the more I learned about who he is as a person, as a leader, as a teammate, the more I started to believe that he really could be a special player. And I'm super excited to see how he does in his rookie year. If he I think there's a chance he saves Brian Callahan's coaching career, and they can kind of help each other out there. But I'm super excited for Cam Ward. I do think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback with a chance to be a great NFL quarterback.
I mean, he definitely does seem like the generational quarterback, obviously, of this draft. But I mean, even in another draft, I do think he would still have that gravitas towards him, just with the way he carries himself. I mean, we saw a lot of what happened and transpired between him and Shador, where he just kind of seemed like the alpha in a lot of those situations. I mean, more often than not, Shador kind of was the one backing down and kind of having to look like the little brother in a lot of instances. So a lot of that for me was kind of like, all right, definitely Cam Ward is the #1 guy here. And it's just going to be interesting to see what he can pull off this season with what you guys got there. Cause that's my big question in terms of the wide receiver room. Do you think they've got enough there to really help him this season? I mean, you got Ridley, Lockett, but Treylon Burks is coming back from an ACL. Is that going to be enough firepower for him in his rookie season?
Yeah, I think one of my colleagues put out an interesting comment the other day that there's only 3 Titans receivers who have ever had 100 yards in a game in their career, and that being the 3 you just named, Ridley, Lockett, and Treylon Burks. Burks will not be back for training camp, probably will start the season on PUP or IR or some other injured list. So that is a big question, but I kind of compare it to what Joe Burrow had his rookie year. He had a bit younger Tyler Boyd, but not the super explosive version of Tyler Boyd. He had a rookie T. Higgins, and he had 32-year-old AJ Green at the tail end of his career. I think that's at least comparable to what the Titans have in the receiver room. I do think Calvin Ridley is a bit underrated. I don't think he's a top-tier receiver by any means. I think he would be one of the best #2s in the league and a very low-end #1 type of receiver. But I also look at what Washington had with Jaden Daniels last year. Obviously, what Jaden Daniels does with his legs adds a huge threat to the offense. But Terry McLaurin, maybe a little bit better of a overall player than Calvin Ridley, but kind of similar players in the sense that they're both, not the tallest guy, but they have speed. They have the ability to separate. And then who else was Jaden Daniels working with? The ghosts of Zach Ertz, Diami Brown. Like, it wasn't like those were super recognizable names either. So I think there is enough in Tennessee. I like the rookies they drafted in the 4th round, although, can't really expect too much from a day 3 rookie in their first season in the NFL. But I think there's enough. I think the tight end room is also underrated. Chigakonkwo had one of the most efficient rookie seasons for an NFL tight end and then took a sort of a step back. After that, maybe a better quarterback can unlock him. His efficient season was with Ryan Tannehill, who's given the Titans the best quarterback play they've seen in 2 decades. So I do think that, the offensive line should be better with the moves they made in free agency. The running game should be something they can lean on, which will help open things up in the passing game. So I'm not as worried about the weapons. I think that is going to be similar to what Joe Burrow's career was like, where his first year, he didn't have the best stuff around him, but then they go get Jamar Chase going into his second year, and he really is able to take off. I think the Titans are building in a similar way around Cam Ward.
Yeah, and I think I heard on your podcast just a few days ago that you had said, somebody had mentioned, I can't remember how they pronounce his name, Chimere DK?
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Close enough.
Yeah, from Florida, could possibly be the #2. They're thinking he could be that good.
To me, he was a bit of a reach where they took him, but I also understand why you'd take a guy who's over 6 feet tall, who runs a 4.34. I mean, he's about the same size as Jamar Chase, and he's really fast, and he never produced big numbers in college, but I've listened to a lot of draft experts say that he is very good at the deep crossing route, which is a more difficult route to run because it requires a good amount of football IQ and real-time fast processing to see what kind of coverage you're up against and then adjusting the depth of that deep crosser based on where the linebackers are, how much depth they get, where the safeties are, if it's a middle field open, middle field closed, where you have to bend that route off. So a guy that can do that at a high level could impress the coaching staff enough to see the field a lot. And the Titans don't really have anyone who profiles as an X receiver, like a boundary receiver, beat press coverage, big body type of guy. Yeah. The closest thing they have to that is the other 4th round pick, Alec Ayomanor, who is going to be a bit of a raw rookie. That he's a younger guy, I think only 21 years old, not one of these like 5th year guys that played an extra COVID season or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see if he can compete for reps at that spot. Calvin Ridley works best when he gets to move around and not be right up on the line of scrimmage. And Tyler Lockett also kind of works best that way, and he might be the primary slot receiver.
Yeah.
Titans also added Xavier Restrepo.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that, man. I watched a lot of Miami games last year. You know, they were on national TV quite a bit, and it was just insane to see Restrepo beat some of those wide receiver records with Michael Irvin being there and other greats. And this guy just flew under the radar, you know, then goes undrafted.
Andre Johnson, Santonio Holmes. I mean, they have some of the best collection of historic. I mean, maybe LSU in the last 10 years, but historically, like Miami was wide receiver U. Yeah. And the fact that he outproduced them over his career, I think he probably played longer than those guys. But we're going to keep that part
5 years.
He still had a 1,200-yard, 11 touchdown season last year. I think he's going to make the team. I almost think, you know, just because Cam Ward's there, he's going to make the team. But I also think he's like a smart guy who knows how to get open and has good short area quickness, even if he ran a 4.8 at his pro day on what he said was a bad hamstring. So not sure how accurate that time is. He scored a few long touchdowns last year. Granted, there were other times he got caught from behind that other players probably would have scored longer touchdowns on, but I think he has enough athleticism to make it in the NFL, and he's a really good route runner. He's going to get open and, you know, quickly close to the line of scrimmage and be a safety option for Cam Ward.
I think we all saw how productive like guys like Wes Welker and Brandon Stokely were for Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. You know, you don't always need that super speedy guy. You just need a guy to get in the right spot and catch the ball. And
especially with a quarterback like Cam Ward, who's going to do a lot of damage off script, you need somebody who knows how to work off script with him, who has chemistry. And it's kind of crazy. Like, obviously, Calvin Ridley is the established receiver in the room, but Xavier Restrepo is going to come in with more chemistry than anyone else on the Titans roster with the quarterback. And that kind of stuff matters.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw what happened when, you know, Joe Burrow got teamed up with Jamar Chase, a former teammate. Just having that chemistry goes an extremely long ways. And that I was going to ask if you thought he was going to make the team. I definitely think he will. I mean, especially after that report came out, like I think a week ago, where Cam Ward was reportedly a major advocate for them going and getting him as an undrafted free agent. So
apparently he was calling the GM saying to draft Restrepo in the 4th round. Every time they were on the clock, starting in the 4th round, he was like, hey, get my guy. And they were like, just be patient. We'll get him without having to use a draft pick.
Watch us get him without wasting a draft pick.
Right. They knew what they were doing. Yeah, I mean, I really got high hopes for Cam Ward. I mean, we touched on a second ago with those videos that got circulated around a lot with Shador and him. But when someone's just like all about one goal, and when he tells Shador, like, man, I don't want to be in a rap song. Like, I'm all about football. I don't have other hobbies. That's where you get guys like Kobe. That's where you get guys like Jordan, stuff like that, where they may not be the best socially or have the most friends or anything like that, but they are going to be the best at what they try to do. And so I really am excited to see what he does there. And so you got to be excited too. You got your Longhorn, Gunnar Helm there. How do you feel about that?
I think Gunnar Helm's going to be a really good NFL player as well. I mean, we're in that time of year where we all think every single pick that our teams made are going to be great players. But I watched Gunnar Helm, you know, every game he played at Texas, and he didn't have a very productive career. He had a really insanely productive, you know, final season there. He set the Texas Longhorns records for receptions and receiving yards by a tight end. And Texas also has is another school with a long history of productive NFL players at that position. But he had to sit behind Jatavion Sanders, who was a 2nd-round pick to the Panthers a year ago. And that's why he wasn't productive earlier in his career. But just a smart guy, like everybody the Titans drafted, they had similar things to say about their high character, love of football, great teammate. They're trying to reestablish a culture in that Titans locker room. And I think Gunnar Helm is one of those perfect lead by example, quiet, get the job done guys. Another guy that did a nice job working off script for Quinn Ewers and at times Arch Manning last year. And, he's a willing blocker in the run game. He doesn't have any George Kittle at Iowa style highlights where he's burying guys into the ground, but a willing blocker that's going to get better with, Bill Callahan helping coach the blocking techniques there in Tennessee. So I'm excited to see if he, as a rookie, tight ends, historically don't always do a lot as a rookie. I think Kyle Pitts and Brock Bowers are massive exceptions and Sam Laporta too, that Trey McBride that maybe set our expectations too high for what a rookie tight end can be, especially because there are two solid enough players ahead of him on the Titans depth chart. But I think he'll be competing for tight end 2 snaps by midseason because that's just the kind of work ethic he has.
Nice. Yeah. And it's always good to see those alma maters that you support, like when your team that you like draft them. Because I was really hoping the Chiefs would take Devin Neal because we need a running back. But then I saw undrafted, they took Jared Casey, a KU tight end. I was like, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Small victories, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Looks like you got one more tough question for him.
I do. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. I got a tough question for you, man. So,
all right.
when are we going to see the one-on-one basketball game with you and Dan Hansis? Those videos of you dunking, man, that was great. You got higher than I could.
Dunk. I told this story on Heed the Call, but I really did dunk the ball like a few days later before a rec league basketball game. So I'm just mad at myself for not being able to do it in that big moment. I'd love to play Dan one-on-one. I think he would underestimate me. He does have a big frame, and like
he might be able to back me down.
Yeah.
When you said it was like, you got the girth on me. And he was like, whoa. Yeah, good. You guys got some good content on there, man. That was great. And that would be a good video, good content to post if you guys ever do that.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Next time I'm in LA, I'll try to make it happen. I mean, I think it would be great content. I don't know. It's not good for a podcast, but who cares? We'll throw it up.
Yeah,
put it on socials.
Hey, have Mark be the referee. I think that's
yeah. It'd be good. I'll pay him off too.
There you go.
There you go, man.
Well, I guess we're gonna let you get out of here soon. We don't want to keep you too long. But what would you say right now with everything with draft and everything? What do you think the season's gonna look like this year in terms of wins and losses?
I think, it's really hard to predict stuff like that. I'll give it my best shot. I don't know if you know the stat. I think it was, I think 40% of games last season were decided by one score. So like
it's
the littlest
hard.
things can flip the outcome here. They call it a game of inches for a reason, but I would guess the Titans win 6 to 8 games. I think one advantage Cam Ward has on most rookie quarterbacks is I almost look at last year at Miami as like a pre-rookie season for him, just in terms of, because he started, I think, 57 games in college. He went from Incarnate Word, jumped up to Washington State, and was immediately effective after a jump in competition, surrounded by a new locker room. He did have his offensive coordinator was his head coach there. And then he was going to enter the draft, right, coming out last year, but he decided that, the feedback he got was day 3, maybe day 2 pick. So he went to Miami for one last season. And that was another, I'm going to go surround myself with a whole new team, group of men, a whole new coaching staff, a whole new city, an organization with high expectations for him when he was, by that time, he wasn't a 0-star recruit anymore. He was highly sought after college transfer player. And he went in there and he met and exceeded all those expectations, won over the locker room and the coaching staff within a few days. So he's sort of been through what I would think is the hardest part of being a rookie quarterback and coming to the NFL as a high draft pick, is dealing with high expectations, having a new coaching staff, having a new group of teammates that you have to win over. He's done that twice already. So that's why I think Jaden Daniels was able to translate to the NFL so well also, is because he sort of did the same thing going from Arizona State to LSU. And he had another season at LSU to even really season himself. And he does, I don't know, some VR training stuff, I guess, that helps him process faster. But I think, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, guys who transferred, who played a lot of college ball, came into the NFL and were good when they got their chance almost immediately. And I think Cam Ward can do something similar. The Titans have a ton of roster holes still. The edge group might be the thinnest worst edge rushing group in the entire league. So they're not going to win a lot of games on the strength of their defense. It all depends on if Cam Ward can score 30 points a game like he did at Miami. I think it was 43 points a game at Miami. But if he can score 30 points a game and win some shootouts, the Titans could have some games where they at least look like a better team than they did last year.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy. They could win 3 games if the 14 losses are 1-score games where they look competitive. I'll be a lot happier than last season when they're getting blown out in the first half and they're not even, it doesn't even look like they're playing in the same league. So I would guess between 6 and 8 wins, but
That's
I think the ceiling is higher. If Cam Ward is really that dude, maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah. Hey,
the sad part is we're not going to get those Will Levis memes that we got all last year.
Yeah, the Mayo Man's going to be in the background, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Have to do something on the sidelines.
Hopefully they trade him to another team so the distraction is just like...
Yeah, he is. It's not as bad as Tebow, but it's like, that's still a distraction.
Yeah.
So
true, man. So true.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you get out of here. We greatly appreciate you hopping on with us and giving us a little bit of your time. Let everybody know where they can find you. I mean, we know where to find you, but let them know, and then we will let you get on out of here, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You can follow me on Twitter at Titans Film Room. I do a Titans podcast with another Justin Mello, the Music City Audible, and I produce the NFL podcast Heed the Call, which if you're just a football fan and you like fun, I highly recommend you check that one out.
Very good podcast. Yes.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
well, thanks
you, man.
again,
Justin. Thanks
you have
a
great rest of your night, man. We will catch you later. Go Titans this year. Let's hope they have a good run.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
Have a good one, man.
You too. Bye.
Bye. There we go. All right.
Cool.
That was a little smoother. Still a little, but we're getting
good. That was good.
We're working through it.
Nice.
So yes, Justin Graver, awesome to have him on. Greatly appreciate it. The fact that he gives us any bit of his time is pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool, man. It's like the number 1, number 2 football podcast in pretty much
in the world.
And we have the producer. Come on, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and he's not just like a background producer. He's kind of like the young Jamie, if you will, if you want to go a more famous producer. But yeah, he's basically that level in the sports world. So it's pretty cool that he gives us any bit of his time, honestly.
I think his successor around the NFL is now the producer for the New Heights podcast too. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
can't remember that guy's name, but yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. And yeah, we got some good insight on the Titans. I'd much rather them do well than the Colts or the Texans. I'm just, it's nice to see somebody new in there.
Well, it's like he mentioned, they're trying to get a new culture, and they really haven't had that since Vrabel left. I mean, obviously, I know that they had to get rid of Vrabel, but that he definitely was kind of like a culture-building coach. And unfortunately, just due to bad decisions and stuff, the train had to come to a stop.
Yeah, you got to shift those things.
Yeah, you got to shift gears.
And I'm pretty sure their GM, it used to be Brett Veach's assistant. And so I could just see from their draft picks, you could kind of see a little bit of that Veachness in his picks, where that's the high value picks are those the D line and the best available, and then in the later rounds you try to go get those skill positions that are those sleeper ones that not everybody else realizes.
And that's what I think that them going and getting Xavier Restrepo is going to be like one of those low key, it's going to be a great move for them. I think even if he's not like their number 1 this year or whatever, I do think he probably is going to see the field quite a bit.
Dude, I think it's crazy how speed is overrated so much in the combine and the draft. I mean, look at guys like Hunter Renfrow. Mm-hmm. I mean, they can torch guys sometimes.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be fast as long as you can get open. I mean, Gronk wasn't super fast, and that dude was always open down the seam.
Running people over, man.
He did run them over if they got in front of him, but he got wide open down the seam quite a bit. I mean, to the point where you're just like, can somebody stop it?
Yes,
please.
No, because no one wanted to get in front of him, getting ran over.
Yeah. There's like a few Ed Reed, maybe.
Yeah, that's about the only one.
All right, well, let's get into our weekends. We almost got into NFL. We started and then we stopped. That's and then true. Justin jumped on and heard a little bit of the end of the NFL intro, probably wondering what the hell's going on. But let's get into our weekends. Tell me about yours.
It was an event-filled weekend. Yeah, we had the PI at work, so that was a lot. We had that on Friday.
Oh, another one. I forgot because they just, because all that stuff.
That was Friday. It went really well. We did good. And so Friday night, she went to go see the Used because her best friend flew out to go see that with her. So I just stayed here, and I was too tired. So I just watched the Houston and Warriors game, got some jersey mics, nothing too exciting. Friday. Saturday, went back to work for a few hours and finished up the PI. And my way of celebrating something like that being over is going to Home Depot and blowing a lot of money and getting ready for the summer, pretty much.
Nice.
I got a new weed eater, new leaf blower,
dude.
got a bunch of plants and some other things. So I went back to work, in the yard when I came back home. And after I got a bunch of stuff done, got some weed eating done, we went to State House to watch the Nuggets game and the Avs game.
Yeah.
And that was a blast, except for the Avs game. But, we just had a really good time watching it there. I mean, the whole bar, restaurant was just lit up for the Nuggets game.
Oh, I can imagine.
And we've developed this kind of like superstition or whatever, because anytime, it's like we did this a couple weeks ago when they were up by 20. And Aaron Gordon hit that dunk to win it, where it's like, okay, if they get up by 20, I'm not going to gloat about them being up by 20. So anytime, because I'll do the math in my head. I'm like, oh, they're up by 22, or oh, they're up by 80. So she was like, don't say it. So I didn't do that. And we turned it into a drinking game to where anytime the Nuggets hit a 3, we had to take a drink. So
there you go.
We had a great time. And afterwards, we started, so it turned into a wild night, kind of. We got this really cool neighbor, Joe, is this Jersey guy, and he's got this 8-year-old daughter, Zoe, who they go to school right here. And so we are driving back home, and we notice their garage, there's just an immense amount of fog just rolling out of it and these lights going on and stuff. So we're like, what is going on there? We need to pop in and see what party Joe's got going on. Well, his daughter's just having a little slumber party with her best friend. And so we were like, Joe, you mind if we just like come on a crashes? I was like, I told him, I was like, I don't know how to like approach this, but I was like, I've always thought about getting a fog machine.
Can I check out your fog machine, bro?
We walk over there, they're all pumped to see us and stuff. And I was like, dude, this is sick. And he was like, yeah, the only thing I'm missing is like a laser projector. I couldn't find it. And I was like, hold my beer. I went and got my projector.
Guess what I've got,
dude? And then those girls were just like loving the lasers out of it. They were just acting like they were in some like spy movie.
Yeah. Oh, like trying to like,
yeah. They were just having a great time, and we were just having a blast. We ended up staying over there around an hour, visiting with them, and they would be playing all this girly music, and I would be like, "Oh, who is this? Like Taylor Swift?" And they were like, "No, it's Sabrina Carpenter."
Idiot.
It was hilarious, man. We had a blast, and so then we dropped Chelsea off at the airport the next morning, and then we went to go see Thunderbolts.
Oh, yeah. New Avengers, you mean?
Kick ass, yes, yeah. It was awesome.
Did they really rename it, or was that just a thing? Because I saw like all the actors and actors pulling the thing. I was like,
the movie's called Thunderbolts, but yeah, they eventually are called the New Avengers.
Oh, is that what's happened? Is that like the end credit scene that I just
no, that's not the end credit. That's kind of part of it, but there's a really good post credit scene, and it is the longest in Marvel history, and it's actually developed by the Russo brothers, who are directing the new Avengers movies.
Oh, nice.
So it was a really funny movie.
When's the new Fantastic Four come out?
July.
Okay, yeah, that one looks pretty cool.
Yep, I'm excited for that one, man. Yeah, but it's totally worth seeing. It was great. And then I came back, and after having such a busy week, I just kind of vegged out, played a lot of PS5, watched the F1 race when I got back. So
yeah,
it's good times.
Hell yeah, brother!
But it was a good weekend. How about you?
Busy weekend. Friday after work, I had to go like pick up the PA and stuff. Merrill and the Magic Makers Market had a big event thing this weekend for the Beltane festival. That was it was their Beltane festival. So I was providing the sound. I was a sound guy.
Okay.
So I had to bring our PA, and then Saturday I had to go set that up. Hung out for a good while. Got a nice sunburn, a cool one, because I wear snapback hats. So when I took my hat off, I have a cool line right here, and then just this half moon sunburn on the top of my forehead. So that was pretty cool.
Sweet.
But Yeah, got my first sunburn of the season, so that was nice.
It was nice this
gonna
last
get
weekend.
Nice base coat going here soon,
Right.
you know. But
That native blood.
oh yeah, it is. It really is. I'm turning red. But then I had to go back Saturday or Sunday and help set that back up again because the PA and stuff had to come with me and then go back. So that it was a busy weekend. But Saturday, yeah, I got home basically in time to watch the beginning of the Nuggets game. I think I missed a little bit of the first quarter, but I got home, watched that one. That was awesome. It's
so great when they just dominate. And
Yeah.
There's no stress, man. I just love that.
But I just kept like looking back at the Avs game and being like, 2 goals isn't enough.
Yeah.
2 goals isn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got to be the third period, and I was like, 2 goals isn't enough. And then all of a sudden, Miko Rantanen, dude,
Just goes off.
just
man.
went off. And yeah, that
rough.
sucked. But, you know, life goes on. And we still got the Nuggets, who now, like a week ago, if you would have asked me like my thoughts and feelings on it, it's completely flipped.
Yeah.
I'm now like, the Nuggets could win it all at this
Yeah.
point. If
I'm
they just
fine.
get through the West, if they get past Oklahoma, I'm like, who's going to stop them?
Yeah.
But and then, you know, the Avalanche are gone, so it is what it is. But you know, those are the sad things. Sunday, I was able to watch the majority of the race. It was a pretty good one. There was the first lap was pretty wild there. We knew it was going to take everything for Max to stay in front, because if he could stay in front, he was going to win the race.
He did pretty well for about 20 laps.
Yeah, but you know, it's just the McLarens are too fast, and
They're
they end
way
up
too
winning.
fast
So
right now.
we'll get into that more. But other than that, man, we just you know, hung out.
Cool.
Because we're busy. You know, she had a bunch of stuff going on. So like Saturday night we didn't do well. I was just watching the games, and then last night while we were watching the game, I scared her and the dogs both, because I'm like sitting there watching and it's like almost over, and I'm like, they're not gonna win. And then Aaron Gordon hits it and like jump up. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, Jesus, she scared the shit out of me.
You're talking about last night's game?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was just insane. I'll never forget that game. I mean, there's like those Murray game winners that I'll never forget them. And last night, you know, it was 10-17, I think, around the time the game was ending. So we were in bed, and as they were down by 13 with 6 minutes left to go. And so as they started to creep back closer, you know, I was laying down basically as like when it was that time, but as they were creeping back, I started to kind of sit up a little more, and then when they finally hit it, we were basically like that book 12 Monkeys on a Bed jumping around. We just started jumping around. I mean, it was wild. We went nuts.
There's a great clip of all the Nuggets analysts and play-by-play guys
Reacting
watching
to
back,
it,
and
yeah.
they're just like, oh, well, it's funny because
one of them says to Russ, like,
yeah,
no.
And then he throws it to Gore. We're like, oh my god.
I literally said the same thing because Jokic wasn't hitting the threes last night, and when he hit the three to put us up 114 to 115, I was like, no, and then he hits it, and I was like, glad you didn't listen to me, man.
Yes. Thank you, Jokic.
Man, it was an exciting game. Like, God, I love the Nuggets.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so busy week last week, so I'm ready for things to wind down a little bit.
Hell yeah, this weekend's going to be a chill weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, but we'll see.
Nice. All
I
right.
always hope for that, and then a bunch of stuff ends up happening. I'm like, all right, I'm just doing a bunch again, so...
Not me, man. I'm going to make sure after last weekend, there's nothing. I'm not going to plan a shit.
Yeah.
Nope.
Shutting her down.
Yeah.
My sister's coming into town, so I'm probably going to have to go, like, you know, see her for a little bit.
Where's she live in Utah?
Yeah, it's right outside of Ogden. I can't remember the name.
How does Alex keep going to these courtside when the Jazz were in the regular season? He was like on courtside almost.
You know, I thought it was because he was coaching like a youth team, and I thought it was something to do with that, but I don't know.
That is cool though, man. Even if the Jazz were bad, it's like, so what?
It would be wild.
Still be cool.
I still want to get one of those VR headsets and try that. Like, you can sit courtside. but I would just feel like a dumbass in my living room.
Right.
Like, whoa, wow, look at him go.
That's why I haven't tried VR, man. It's just nuts.
I tried it once a few years ago, so it's probably way better now.
Yeah, I haven't tried it in a long time.
Yeah, it's funny because some people get so freaked out by it, like it gives them like vertigo right away. They're like,
I saw this new thing today where Disney has like put out this like pad where you can kind of walk on, like Ready Player One, and it's like a total top of the line pad where you could just walk and go wherever. Oh, it's got these rollers underneath.
Oh, so you can like actually like
move around.
Walk.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We're in the future, man.
Dude, we are, man. It's crazy.
Well, let's hit the rest of these NFL headlines.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for some football?
Are you ready?
It's football, bro.
It's football, bro.
Personal foul. 69.
Give him the business. Yeah, so not a lot to talk about. Kind of nice.
One of them's pretty funny. I'm pretty happy about. Justin Tucker got released. It was a football decision, is what the Ravens are calling it.
Yes, they did draft kicker Tyler Loop in the 6th round. But, I mean, it is pretty significant. This guy is going to go down as, like, probably the greatest kicker ever until somebody else obviously surpasses him eventually. But right now, he's up there, top 3 in kickers, probably number 1 in most statistical categories. But unfortunately, he's second to only Deshaun Watson in his masseuse allegations.
Right.
So
not the category you want to be in.
So they released him yesterday. As Chad said, they try to say it's a football decision. It's
like
not.
That is the dumbest excuse you could ever say. Like, okay, we're just making a football decision and releasing one of the best kickers ever. Just come out and have.
He did have a down year last year, but then it all made sense when all these allegations came out. Like, oh, he had a lot on his mind. I think.
I think he probably knew.
Wasn't getting the same massages. You know, his leg.
That's what's so weird. It all started. I think it was like 2002 to 2016. Or maybe it was like 2016, 2020 or something like that. But it like was this segment kind of thing. And it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's all a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah. You know, what are you going to do?
An opera singer.
You know? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Very, very
like Mike Rowe.
Yeah. Yep. Just like him. Yep.
So, so Justin Tucker, say la vie. We'll see if anybody's going to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Probably the Browns.
Probably, honestly. Speaking of which, they've got somebody that has some issues. We'll just move into the next one here. Devin Bush arrested and charged with simple assault and harassment on his girlfriend. Turns out he was chasing her around and like pinned her down and smashed her phone. So he's going to be in some big trouble this year. Expect some sort of suspension for him unless the charges magically go away, as they tend to do in these situations sometimes. Yeah. But his teammate, Mr. Shedeur Sanders, we weren't going to talk about him too much more, but he couldn't wear number 2 as that was taken by the wide receiver kick returner DeAndre Carter. He will now wear a number 12 like his mentor, Mr. Tom Brady.
Yep.
Because he's going to, right now, dude, he's one round before him, you know?
And Brady.
Almost the same story. Although Brady, nobody knew who the hell he was.
Yeah, he was drafted in the 7th, right?
I think 6th round, I think.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. Yep. So, Brady even said they did this like podcast the other day, and Brady told him he needs to stop buying Rolls Royces and get in the film room. So,
yeah, it's not good when your mentor, whose number you're wearing, wouldn't draft you at least provide his input to the team he partially owns.
He made a statement saying he stayed away from the draft. He didn't have any decisions or anything.
I find that hard to believe.
I do too. I was like, that's insane.
Why wouldn't you ask him?
Right?
Yeah. If that's the case, then they're just dumb for not, like, that's another avenue for information.
Yeah,
greatest ever. Maybe tap into him. Of course, John Elway couldn't pick a damn quarterback to save his life.
You can't drive a golf cart either.
Well, hey, whoa. That was a wild story. Still waiting to hear more of the details on that. As Chad brings it up, I guess it's NFL news. John Elway killed a guy.
And didn't report it for a couple days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why the sheriff, it started turning into an investigation, because the sheriff didn't find out until like later on.
Because I knew that he'd Well, because obviously the guy got help right away, but they must not have reported that he fell for a few days.
A lot of the details got left out, I guess, and that's why they turned.
It's kind of weird. I don't know. But the guy's been. He was his agent when he got drafted, and was his agent throughout his playing career. Also, one of his business partners on the Elway restaurants and all that stuff.
Suck.
Dude, whatever.
Dude, they're dog shit, man. They're not good.
You go to Shanahan's though.
Shanahan's is good. That's Hannah's favorite steakhouse. I swear to God.
Blasphemy!
Yeah, I know it.
Blasphemy!
I hate it too.
But yeah, pretty crazy thing there. Also, another crazy thing. Did you see the video of the guy falling out of the stands?
Yeah.
Did it not look like he jumped?
I talked about this with a few different people.
I swear, it looks
I
like
got
he
differing opinions.
He was like sitting, and then he was just like, ah!
That's what it looks like. Then the argument's like, okay, his shirt's off. He definitely looks like he was wasted, but it does seem like he kind of jumped.
It looks like he got hit an ejector seat button.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's awake now. So, and he's doing better. He's still pretty messed up. Dude fell like
20 feet.
Flipping like 25 feet onto his head.
Yeah.
Somehow survives. And he's a football player too, a college football
I didn't
player.
know that.
But yeah, he fell out of PNC Park. A crazy situation, middle of a game. They had to stop the game. Like the players had to alert like the stadium staff that like they're like there's a guy on the field.
Yeah.
Like he just fell.
They had to stop the game and everything. It was
crazy.
Insane. Yeah.
So
very unfortunate.
Yeah, hope that guy he walked today. 20-year-old man who fell at Pirates game takes first steps.
That's miraculous.
Kayvon Markwood slipped off a railing. It's again, that's weird to me. The video is strange. I told you, I was like, it looked like he did it on purpose, but I don't know. Either way, glad to hear he's okay. Hopefully, it was just a freak accident. But that's about all I got for the NFL. What do you got? Anything else?
Nope, that's all I got. Do you want to move into the NBA or F1?
Let's just do NBA real quick. We'll break up the NBA and NHL with F1. Here we go.
Right side to Scott. Slam dunk. 4 seconds. 3 seconds left. Why they not fouling? Jumper Murray. He's on fire. Denver bounce.
Pump fake for two. Kobe's got the Laker record. 81-point game. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
Yes.
Come on. I'm burning.
I needed a timeout after that game last night.
It's impossible. That's what's so bad about too.
You can't go to bed right after that.
Yeah, as late as you're staying up, you can't go to bed. Like I think the game ended around 10:30. I went to bed around 11.
Yeah,
so you're dead the next morning. But I mean, it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. All right, but since the last time we've talked to you guys, there have been some teams eliminated. The Timberwolves eliminated the Lakers in 5, and then Ant Edwards went and did a lap around LA, and man, he said it best. Just talking about, they said Lakers in 5 and all this.
Did you see when he was walking through the arena and he's like, Ant-Man, Superman, Batman, Lakers in 5. It's just like, which is a throwback to Shannon Sharp, who is no longer on TV.
ESPN's going so downhill.
Dude, it really is.
It's just awful.
Yeah.
I tried it for the first time. I told you and Dan about it Monday morning to see how much they would cover the Nuggets beating the Clippers. 0.
Well, dude, anytime the Nuggets beat a LA team, it's what the LA team did not do to beat the Nuggets. Never the fact that the Nuggets beat them and smashed them at home. Let's not forget.
They spent about 15 to 20 minutes talking about how James Harden let them down, not about Christian Brown having 21 points,
not about the fact Christian Brown guarded Harden and only allowed 7 points.
Yes.
I mean, Christian Brown was on him the majority of that series.
Can't mention that. No, that's why I refuse to it, man.
Also, I forget who it was. Was it the guy on the Hawks that got the most improved player?
Yeah,
that's a sham, dude. I saw his stats. Christian Brown's literally doubled all of his stats.
I'm telling you, man, the ESPN is trying to blackball. I know it's not the league, but I think with the contracts that the ESPN
they have way too much power.
Have too much sway.
Yeah.
And
they're like, we got baby for $1 billion.
They want to blackball the Denver whole sports franchise. I mean, to put the Avs and the Nuggets game 30 minutes apart, you're telling me you can't.
That was the NHL from what I've heard. because like I guess since it's the last year of TNT's contract, they weren't going to make any sort of concessions for the NBA. They're like, it's on when it's on.
Wow.
And then the NHL was like, same thing. They're like, well, we're not going to move.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was rough.
You know what's
Shouldn't
crazy,
have
dude?
happened.
Is that State House. I think there was probably more Avs jerseys there than Nuggets jerseys. And I was asking Chris, the GM, I've talked about, I was like, yo, man, like, well, how come they got the sound? Because they had, the Avs game started after the Nuggets game.
Yeah, sorry, it's 6.
They had the sound on for that instead of the Nuggets game, even before the Avs game started.
Yeah.
And I was like, why aren't you putting the sound on for this? And he's like, people hate the squeaking of the shoes. And so we always...
That's one reason my mom hates basketball. She's like, I can't stand the squeaking.
Wow. I was like, I've never... It doesn't
bother me.
I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, I get, some people.
Same thing with Meryl. She's like, I like it now because of the Nuggets, but she's like, I used to have to go watch my brother play rec basketball and just sit there and listen to squeaking constantly.
It's crazy. I never think about it.
Hey, people chewing pisses me off sometimes, so I have no room to talk.
Right.
But yeah, it's a shame and it's a sham. That's why I was saying we should just proceed by only calling them the 4-letter network moving forward. But
I would, but I don't feel like people would know what we're talking about.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but I did see one graphic that I really want to mention here because the Lakers get so much coverage, and it's insane to think that like they were asking LeBron, are you going to come back next year? And if this guy, and I said this after last year's horrible performance, and if he had any integrity, he would look in the mirror and be like, I'm hurting this team, and just go ahead and retire. Here is LeBron, his plus minus on and off the court during these playoffs. On the court, minus 41. Off the court, plus 8.
Yeah, so they score 8
Enough
points when he's off the court, and then when he's on the court, they're getting outscored by 41.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Every 100 possessions. It's just, and the sad part is too, it's getting to the point where nobody respects him anymore. There was, I thought it was pretty cool. We talk about Ant, how Ant called him out. It's like, go congratulate my teammate. Rudy put up 30 points.
Yeah.
Like he's not a good example for young athletes out there. He's not a good example for other young NBA stars. I just think he's not a good example for anybody that accumulates fame. We could go on for hours and hours how we hate LeBron, but it's even more pathetic when he fakes these injuries, how afterwards he's limping around, blaming it on an MCL sprain that happened, I think, 6 minutes left to go in the fourth, and then there's footage of him with 30 seconds left to go in the fourth, and he's running around like full speed.
Yeah.
Just
Well, it's because he gutted it out, dude.
Yeah, because he's the Space Jam.
Yeah. He ruined Space Jam 2. Damn him, dude.
Yeah.
That's enough LeBron hate. I doubt he retires. Although
No,
that's just not. He's not going to do it.
No.
But
the Warriors did eliminate the Rockets on the road behind the heroics of Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield had like 33 points,
which is surprising because I feel like I feel like Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry and everybody just give him shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and even Steve Kerr at one point was like, Steph Curry was sitting on the bench and Buddy Hield came off the court and he just missed wide open Steph and took a shot. And Steve Kerr is like, Buddy Hield, this is Steph Curry. He's the best shooter in the game. Meet him and pass him the ball, please. And it's just like,
I've seen clips of those guys being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's
come on, buddy.
He had 0 points in Game 6, and then goes on to have 33 in Game 7. So, and then in other news, the Cavs dropped Game 1 to the Pacers, and their Game 2 is happening tonight. And we just got news before we started recording that Evan Mobley and Darius Garland are out tonight. And there's another one. DeAndre Hunter is also out. So they could fall 2 games to the Pacers.
Yeah, right now, basically, both the number 1 teams in the NBA are down 1-0 in the first or in the second round series. So things aren't looking good for the ones looking up from the top. But yeah, big, and then the huge too. The Celtics get beat by the Knicks, all while setting a record for the most missed threes in a game with 45.
It was hilarious. Yeah,
I mean,
and did you see Tatum's comments about the whistles?
Oh yeah,
that's what we talk about, man. So they were, that's what's great about playoff basketball is they actually let them play and aren't calling, fouls too often, except when we're playing the Thunder. And it was just nice because Tatum pretty much said something. I don't really have this one too memorized, but he was basically like, yeah, we realize that this is the playoffs. They're letting a lot go. So, we can't really be counting on that.
He said we shouldn't even have refs because of how the game's played in the playoffs. Yeah. He's like, we should just play. Let's play.
Like, dude,
it's like, well, then you would get annihilated, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you would be just punked out of the playoffs if they let them play just however they wanted.
Because with the Celtics and Thunder, they get to the line pretty much more than anybody. Last night got really frustrating, but I was really glad the refs started to even it out in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and the OKC fans even called Jokic the free throw merchant.
Yeah, it's because that's what everybody says about Shea, and it's just like, dude, come on, man.
Well, and that's why I love Jokic, man. When they asked him about it, he's just so tunnel vision. He was like, I didn't even hear it, and then he's like, actually, that's pretty funny because he's probably thinking like, your free throw merchant's on the other side of the court, man.
Dude, literally most of his points you could take away. Well, that's the argument is they say you could take away his free throw points and he'd still lead in scoring. But it's like, yeah, but the insane fact that will get literally half of his points at the line.
Well, the best stat is so far in the playoffs, you look at every team, East and West, who's leading in each category. Jokic is leading in every single category except two.
Yeah.
And which ones are those? Free throws attempted, Shea. Free throws made, Shea.
Yeah. So
point
made. But in other big news, we saw Mr. Greg Popovich.
Yes, this was
Greg Popovich for the first time since he suffered his stroke. It was a pretty cool moment.
The team walked him out.
Yeah, they had a press conference. Manu Ginobili and oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Tim Duncan walked him to the microphone, and that was where he announced that he is no longer the head coach, and he slowly takes off his shirt. It says El Jefe. Because he's now the team president. And then it was a cool moment, too, seeing him basically pass the torch off to Mitch Johnson. So it's pretty cool. We made a post the other day, just said, the Spurs are in good hands, and they've still got Wemby.
I got a lot of respect for him, man. I mean, we could go on and on about all of his accomplishments. 5 rings, only behind Phil Jackson and Red Auerbach, right?
Yep.
But the one that really blows me away, casual fans out there, just to give you an idea, there are 82 games in an NBA season. The Spurs had 20 consecutive seasons with 50-plus wins.
Yeah.
That's really mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I just don't, it's hard to
And they were a team that built from within. They drafted all these guys.
Tony Parker,
Tim Duncan, yeah, all of them. They were all draft picks. It's not like the Lakers where if you look back throughout the years, most of their championships are from guys they traded for. I mean, even Kobe was technically a trade.
Yeah.
So
I always, from a young age, back with like Tim Duncan, I've always really thought he was one of the first ones to kind of like start exploring the international market, with Tony Parker being from France, Manu Ginobili, Spain. Even Tim Duncan, I think, was kind of Barbados. I don't think he's. Yeah, I know he's American,
technically,
but his nationality is that. But then, then you look, they get Wemby from France. It's like they had a lot of international players.
Yeah, and we can thank them for all of the international players we have today, because without them, we probably wouldn't have Mr. Jokic. So
that's why next year we're going to get USA versus the world.
Yep. That's what they're talking about, so
should be good. But news came out today. OKC's Sam Presti wins Executive of the Year, and Kenny Atkinson wins Coach of the Year in his first season as Cavs coach,
which is well deserved. I mean, the Cavs have been one of the biggest stories of the year so far.
It would have been nice to see the Pistons coach get that. I mean, thinking about where the Pistons were last year, it would have been nice to see that.
True, but I mean this
guy's different. Yeah, Kenny Atkinson.
JB Bickerstaff is the Pistons head coach.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. Thank you. Let's just touch on PGA real quick, and then we'll hit whatever you want to go.
We'll go F1.
Yep. But yeah, no, go ahead and hit it.
Let me hit it. I got to get there, dude. It's been a while since we hit the PGA.
Yep.
Son of a gun, we're having fun. We're having fun.
Son of a bitch, Paul, why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
The ball was definitely not too good enough for its home. Did I say that weird? The ball was definitely not too good for its home for Scotty Scheffler this past weekend, as he ties the PGA Tour scoring mark in the CJ Cup win with a -73, and I think he had it was a 253 over the 3 days. I mean, he was just on fire. Sunday he just completely pulled away, and it was an incredible performance by who's still basically the best golfer in the world.
And I believe, that course record, he totaled the whole weekend, finishing -32 under par.
Yeah, which is insane.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude. Just blew through the course.
So, ended up with a 54-hole lead at one point. So.
My God.
Pretty wild, yeah. He's dominating. It'll be interesting to see if he can continue on his quest that he's on right now, which has been just winning basically. It feels like almost every other week or every other major at this point. He's been doing incredibly well.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool to see, and he's one of the bad boys. Been arrested, got a mugshot.
Yeah.
Cool.
And not too many people get arrested on their way to work and then come back to work.
Yeah, didn't win that tournament, but still golfed pretty good.
Yeah, he didn't do too
Didn't make
bad
the cut,
considering he got arrested that morning. So
that's true.
But yeah, in other news, real quick, I did want to just mention back to the NBA. Did you mention the games tonight?
I'd mentioned one of them that's about to start, and then the second one tonight is really one that I'm super interested in, the Warriors and Timberwolves one.
Yeah, because right now Ant's on a taking down the greats tour.
Dude, I can't wait for Draymond Green and Ant to go back and forth. There's already past clips of them barking back and forth. It's going to be awesome. I mean, Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks, that series. Someone said, I can't remember who had said it, but they were like, can we just stop the series and let these guys just get into a cage, and then whoever wins that wins the series?
Yeah.
That is the perfect thing, man. For real. God damn, they are just a couple of guys that are just out for blood, not really for basketball.
Yeah. It should be fun to see. I mean, did you see how pissed he was about Dylan Brooks? Draymond?
Pissed about what?
Because Dylan Brooks just walked off without shaking hands or anything.
Oh no, I
he's
didn't
like,
see
that's
that.
soft, man. He's like, and especially after you basically said you were trying to take out Curry's hand or his wrist or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, and then you don't want to come and shake hands and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like,
I don't like Dylan Brooks
soft
at all, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
he
much
just
of a
seems
fan
like
of
a guy.
Draymond, but
at least Draymond backs it up.
Yeah.
I feel like Dylan Brooks is literally just like a dude who all he does is go out there and try
just
to
be a pest.
Yeah.
But it's one thing when you're like Rodman or Draymond, then you could be a pest, and then you could back it up with good, skilled basketball too.
Yeah.
Brooks can't really do that.
No.
And that clip of Butler at the free throw line turning to him and being like, "You're a weak ass bitch, man." That was hilarious, man. I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude." That NBA playoffs, and we have gotten some great ones. I mean, last night, dude, we didn't even really touch on, but I think you had said so. Yeah, the Knicks beat the Celtics, but I mean that game came down to the last second. And the Knicks ended up pulling it away.
Yeah,
Miles Bridges pulls the ball away when they try to get their last shot off. I mean, we've gotten so many scuffles and fights and great games. I mean, the NBA playoffs are
it's been fun
off,
this year.
man.
Yeah, we had the couple with the Clippers,
and the same with the NHL playoffs. I mean, that Winnipeg Jets game was like something out of a movie, dude.
Dude, that's the thing. Let's get into it. Let's just get into hockey right now.
Let's do it, man.
Let's freaking do it, dude. We're already here. Let's do it.
2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame,
Help the Avalanche feel shame.
and then you get free.
It's way too big of a lead to let go.
It really is. But yeah, so we're still reeling over here from the Avalanche losing Game 7 to the Stars. Just a heart-wrenching loss there, but what Chad just brought up might be more of a heart-wrenching loss, if you ask me.
If you're a Blues fan, dude. I saw a clip of this dad watching the game with his son.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was like a compilation, too.
Yeah.
But like that one, too, the son just like
Slammed
flopped on the couch. I mean, there's just... it'd be rough, man. I mean, we've been there, too. We were kind of there in a certain fashion. But, yeah, to basically give you a rundown, the Blues were up. I think it was 3-2.
Yeah, up 3-2 with like 2.8 seconds left.
Yep. And then they get a goal, and then it goes to double overtime, and then the Jets end up pulling it off.
Yeah, it was great for Winnipeg. They deserve it. You know, the Canadian teams don't get much love in the Stanley Cup playoffs recently.
I've seen a lot of
American teams that have dominated.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fans rooting for these Canadian. Now, a lot of Avs fans, now that the Avs are knocked out, kind of rooting for the Canadian teams to win a cup because it's been 20 years maybe.
I don't know how long
really
it's been.
My guess is something close to 20. But then it's even worse because today we found, no, it was last night, the Toronto Maple Leafs. 93.
31 years.
Wow, I was way off. Shit. But yeah, so Solaraz, is that how you say his name? Solaraz? The goalie for the Leafs had to go to the hospital from an injury last night.
Yeah, he took a hit he took a slap shot to the face, and then he took another hit to the head from the side, and it didn't look good. The hit did kind of look dirty, but yeah, it's not good for them as who knows when he'll be back.
Yeah.
But he's a hockey player. You never know. I mean, he could be back tomorrow.
Yep. They're built different.
But yeah, so in big news, the Stars rip the heart out of the Avalanche. They move on to take on the Jets, who ripped out the heart of the Blues. That is going to be one hell of a series in the second round. But like they asked Matt Duchene after the fact what he thought about the Game 7. And he basically said, he's like, I feel like we just played the Western Conference Finals Game 7.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's how a lot of people feel, is that, that was going to be the craziest series. Both teams are incredibly well matched up, aside from just the way the Stars are able to muck up the neutral zone, and it threw the Avs completely out of their rhythm. And then the penalty kill was non-existent. Well, the penalty kill wasn't too bad for the Avs. It was the actual when they were
they got that power play with like 3 minutes left to go, I think. Yeah.
I know, and they couldn't do anything. I told Chad before, or I might have said it when we were recording. I can't remember, but the Avs, they had 3 power play goals and 2 shorthanded goals. So their power play was not good enough, and that is why their assistant coach was fired today, who was in charge of power plays. So there will be a different voice going forward in that department. Yes, thank you. But you have something here. Why don't you go ahead and talk about that in regards to this series?
Well, yeah, the Avs are the first team in MLB, NBA, or NHL history to lose 7 consecutive Game 7s.
Yes, and
is that all under Bednar?
No, this is an even crazier stat. The Colorado Avalanche have not won a Game 7 in 23 years.
Wow. Man.
Goes back all the way to May 31st, 2002 against the Detroit Red Wings. But yeah, Bednar can't get past DeBoer, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's another one we should mention. That's what I told you.
That was the 4th Game 7 he's lost to DeBoer.
So we were finishing up the PI on Saturday, and Dan was surprised because I told him, he was like, how do you think the games are going to go tonight? I said, I do think the Nuggets are going to pull it out. We have the best player in the world. I think they're going to win it. They're at home. But then DeBoer I did text you the wrong number. I said 6-0, but it was 8-0.
Yeah.
In games
now
9-0. That is a dump. That's like a Soviet Russian number.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, we don't lose.
USSR back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he's Canadian or something with a name like DeBoer. I don't know.
Probably.
But now 9-0 in Game 7s. If that doesn't say how you can motivate your team and get them to like rally up in moments like that, that's all coaching, man.
Yeah, well, and yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, and that's kind of why I thought, I mean, the Avs, like I said, did make a coaching move, but I thought they were going to fire Bednar because this is now kind of like a problem. You can't get past DeBoer, and whatever he does is like your kryptonite, apparently, because you have 2 of the best players in the world, and I wish they could have got, home ice, but because I think if that Game 7 was in Colorado, they probably would have won, but that's not the case.
It's tough to say because hockey is one sport where home ice doesn't always matter.
It doesn't, some freaky bounce. I mean, that second goal of Mikko's, it hit Gerard's skate and just goes in, and it's just like, oh,
God damn it. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always terrible bounces, and just like that, I mean, even at home, something like that can go wrong, and then you're screwed. But
well, and it's crazy because there's more than one team that just can't get past another one. Where you look at the LA Kings, they've lost to the Edmonton Oilers now 4 years in a row
in the first
playoffs.
round. Yeah,
That is
keep running into each other.
Jesus, if you see a fan in that like hockey sweater, you're just gonna punch him or something. Like,
Yeah.
You've got to have so much hatred for that team, probably.
Yeah,
Just like the
that's
Bills do the
definitely
Chiefs
rough.
and stuff, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least it wasn't like that with the Avs and the Stars, but it's not that many times, but still rough. But so that's the second round Western Conference semifinal matchup. The other one is going to be the Golden Knights and the Oilers. I think the Kings actually did just fire their coach too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, let me double check on that.
Well, I'll give you some games that's happening tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to be taking on the Washington Capitals.
The Capitals.
That is game one. I'm really hoping Ovi just kind of keeps going, makes a deep run, and then the Oilers will be taking on the Golden Knights. That'll be a really good series.
Yeah, the Golden Knights always since their inception, which has only been like the fourth. This is the fourth year, I think, and they've always just been floating around the playoffs. So
and the Oilers, went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year, and they've got Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, which people call Connor McJesus. So we'll see how far they can make it back.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Draisaitl, one of the three finalists for the Hart Trophy. I think it's Draisaitl, Connor Hellebuck, and who's the other person? I think it's going to go to Hellebuck. It sounds like it's going to go to double goalie. He's going to get the Vezina and the Hart Trophy this year.
It would be his third Vezina, right?
I think so. It's going to be his second in a row. But
how about we hit? Or do you have anything else for NHL?
Well, I was going to just talk about. Oh, did you talk about the Maple Leafs and the Panthers? That one's coming up second round.
I didn't hit that one.
Yeah, so that's the Eastern Conference semifinals. We have the Maple Leafs taking on the Panthers. That one's going to start tomorrow at 5. Chad just mentioned the Capitals and the Hurricanes are today at 5. That one's, I mean, at this point in the East, it looks like it's going to be the Capitals. So we could be looking at a Capitals Stars, Capitals Jets, but I think the Stars are going to help the President's Cup trophy curse reign true again, and I think they're going to knock the Winnipeg Jets off. So that's my little hot take,
and
so to
that's
speak.
What we should really touch on too. The fact that Nathan McKinnon said in the locker room, like they were out talking about the Stars, they were out their two best players, and we couldn't beat them.
Yeah, that is a huge,
that's got to be a big gut punch, man.
Robertson and Heiskanen out, and now they're going to come back ready to go for this series more than likely. They didn't even need them, and unfortunately for the Avs.
If they go to the finals, we might have to have Stone back on.
Yeah, we might have to.
Yep.
Other news, though, Marc-Andre Fleury did retire after the Wild got knocked out. So give the Flower his flowers. He's had a great career as a goalie, 21 years as a goalie. That's insane.
I think three Stanley Cups.
I think so, yeah. So
pretty impressive.
Pretty cool, pretty impressive.
All right, want to hit the baseball sound real quick. It is the first time we are going to be going over the standings.
Oh my God, we're at that point already.
We're not going to hit any news. We're just going to run down the standings real quick, and then we're going to hit the music break.
Okay, here we go.
Goddamn, R.I.P. Euchre. Yep. All right. Well, we are, 35 games into the season now. And let's check and see how the Rockies are doing. We've been giving you updates on that. They are 6-28. Hey,
yes.
Yep, they did go on a little winning streak by winning 2 games in a row.
Just to give you a little bit of a barometer for what that means. The White Sox have 4 more wins than them at 10-25.
Yeah.
So the Rockies are incredibly terrible.
Dude, look at this. The Athletics, who aren't even playing in a real stadium, are playing, I think, in a college stadium.
They are. Sacramento
They're
State.
Second in the West. Look at that.
Yeah, dude. Hey.
Hell yeah.
They're getting ready, dude. They're going to Las Vegas. Things are looking up,
That's badass. Yep. All right. Well, let's run down. I'll take the American League. We got the New York Yankees in first place at 19-16. And in the Central Division, you got the Detroit Tigers at first place, 22-13. My Royals have been on a run. They are 8-2 in the last 10 games. They're third place in that division.
Wow.
They've really been turning things around. Excuse me.
Oh, he's dead.
On Sunday, they had 7 homers in their game against, I can't remember, but that was the new record for the Royals.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. And then in the West Division, Seattle Mariners, 1 game up on the Athletics at 20-14.
They're coming. They're sniffing at their heels. The Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics, here they come. Moving into the National League, the New York Mets are in first in the East with 23 wins, 13 losses. In the Central, we have the Chicago Cubs at 22-14. And in the West, no surprise, the $1 billion Dodgers, I just call them the Rogers, $2 billion Dodgers are 24-11. And the Padres, though, 1 game behind them. Actually, a half game. My bad. So 23-11. So yeah, that's where we're at in the MLB. We will definitely keep you guys updated on the Rockies each and every week because they are on basically course to break every terrible record in the MLB in terms of a bad team. So we'll keep you abreast of that information.
It'll be fun to watch. It's like last year with
like watching
the
a car
Pistons.
crash.
It was last year with the Pistons when they had like that 23-game losing streak, right?
It's like at this point, just don't win, dude.
It's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll enjoy that. But let's hit the music break real quick. We got a new band this month. Chad, who is it?
The Fontaines, DC.
Yes.
Out of Ireland.
The name of this song is Starburster. It's from the show, what is it?
Mobland.
But
yes. this song came out, I think,
Before.
in 2022.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But yeah, so this Chad found it through Mobland, which he highly recommends. So give a listen to Starburster right now.
Take to my side, never
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard Fontaine's DC. The name of that song was Starburster off of the, well, I guess it's the title track for the show Mobland. So make sure to go check out Fontaine's DC and all things streaming. Wherever you get your music, you can check out where they're playing next or when you can.
I guess they just came around to the Mission like a month ago.
I just noticed they were just finishing up their U.S. tour. I was going to mention they were playing soon, but they're not playing anytime soon here. But go check out their website, fontainesdc.com, and you can find out when they're playing next or, buy merch and stuff from them. So go do that. We will have them featured the rest of the month, but let's get into some more stuff. What?
Real quick before I forget, when we just did my cousin Tyler Nance a couple months ago, he just released a new EP. It is incredible, man. He just keeps getting better. He used the mugshot for the album cover from when he got arrested.
When he got a DUI or something.
Yeah. And, I mean, it is great. He's now up to like 178,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Check him out. The guy's killing it. Tyler Nance.
Yes, go check out Tyler Nance.
Yep.
Good country music there.
All right. Get in some F1.
Let's do it. It's time to hit the paddock. Well, when Miami happened, Saturday, it was rain-soaked. The sprint race was postponed for a little bit. They had to stop, and then they ended up getting her done. But heading into Sunday, we had quite a race. It was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. Max got the pole after having his first baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why
Papa Max.
Somebody had a really good post that was like, that baby just pulled off the most Verstappen move by making sure Max wasn't available for media day.
Yeah, he hates media day anyways.
Exactly. So that baby knew. And so he got the pole, probably riding high on all those new dad feelings.
And dad pheromones, whatever happens.
And so unfortunately, he just didn't have the car to pull away from the McLarens because he lasted around 20 laps before Piastri got him?
Yeah, it is about that. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The McLarens are just too fast, and we're seeing that now. If Max... once
they get clean air,
once
once they get clean air, they're gone. Because once I think it was Norris that got in front of him first, or what? Because Norris was in P2 to start the race, and he was holding him off.
Yeah,
I think Norris pulled ahead, and he was only. Maybe I'm getting that backwards. I can't remember, but I think Piastri might have done it. Either way, they pull away, and I mean it wasn't even close. Like when Max was leading the first 20 laps or so, it was like milliseconds. I mean, there was a few times where Piastri had DRS and eventually he pulls out, and then he was leading Lando Norris for about 6 laps, and then Lando pulls out, and then George Russell passes Max, and then those three get off to a 30-second lead over the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and Norris finishes 4 seconds behind Piastri. And now there's a lot of people talking about, do they have, a number one driver problem with McLaren? Because now it's well, who do you strategize for team-wise now? There's a lot more where it's just obviously at Red Bull, Max is number one. Everything's going to be for Max, more or less. They're running into a problem now where Piastri is kind of surpassing Norris, who was kind of like the golden child last year after starting to win and pushing Max kind of to the brink in the Drivers' Championship. But now we have Piastri, who's just surpassed Norris and looks like the overall better driver.
I think he's really figured out how to beat Max because, there's 3 things you can count on: death, taxes, and Max.
Death, taxes, and Maxes.
Yeah. Death, taxes, and Max running Lando off the track every race. But the difference is Oscar's starting to do that. He's figuring out ways because he kind of made, when he passed Max, he kind of made Max kind of slip on his brakes, and his brakes were riding too hard, and they just kind of slipped.
Yep.
And then, ran off the track, and then Oscar took the spot. He's a way more aggressive driver than Lando was.
Yeah, and Lando's so in his head right now. It just seems like Piastri's just kind of like he's getting that flow state, kind of like Senna did in the Senna
and he's stoic
series.
too. Like they talked about after he won, Justin Jefferson is trying to like get him to do the gritty and stuff, and he's just like, okay. He's not like
he did it. It was very awkward.
It was, yeah. And he did it, but he's not. You could tell like he's kind of got a little bit of that Max, where he's like a very focused. You kind of want that guy that might be on the spectrum a little bit, but is going to be really good at something, rather than like the partier, social guy like Lando,
it's like Shador kind of.
Perfect
it's that
example.
Same thing.
Great comparison.
But yeah, just watching Oscar, just in the corners and stuff. The guy is so fast. I think that's why he's better than Norris. He's just a better driver, and it's becoming apparent this year. I don't see how Verstappen and them can catch up, and I think we see Verstappen leave. I think there's a big possibility if they're not going to give him a car that can compete, he's going to go to where the car is.
I was really looking at the grid this week, and I'm like, where would he go? I mean, Mercedes, you got Kimi there, so you're not going to bump Russell down. Russell he keeps finishing on podium.
Yeah, speaking of which,
Ferrari,
takes third.
You want to go to Ferrari.
I guess McLaren and take Lando's spot.
That would be hilarious, dude.
But that would be funny.
I don't know if Zach Brown
they just switch.
With him, though, man. That'd be nuts.
I don't think Zach Brown would like him at all.
Yeah, no, he's a lot.
Max Verstappen would be his boss, and I don't think Zach Brown would like that.
He doesn't want
damn
that.
it. Max said we got to do this now.
But talk about some drama. Let's get into Ferrari, man, where they have some issues going on there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hamilton is not happy. They're really having trouble working out the kinks, so to speak, on their communication.
Exactly, the communication.
Everything is just so.
They had told
the
drivers that they wanted them to swap spots, but they only told Leclerc. So they had some miscommunication there.
Yeah, and then Leclerc's like riding Hamilton's ass, and he's like, "I'm burning up my tires here." Like, what
they
are we
wasted
doing?
about 8 seconds, because he just couldn't get around him, and then. They told Lewis, let Leclerc go around you. And then eventually, this is the best part of the day, the best radio. That's why I have on the notes, he was the MVP of the radio that day, because Lewis was just letting his team have it. After his team told him to let Leclerc go around him, Albon was right behind him, and he goes, You want me to let him have the spot too?
God, should I just let everybody pass me? What are we doing? Do you want me to finish last? Do you want me to pit? What do you want me to do?
They couldn't decide who they wanted to take the DRS. I mean, multiple problems there. And
which is surprising because that happened last year with Zach Brown a little bit when they started winning. You could tell the pressure of having to make the decisions on the fly when you're fighting for a podium spot. You saw him do that, but the Ferrari, that's not how they are, and it's just strange to me to see them having this much trouble with a great driver for one. But it's just funny, and they're doing worse than they were with Sainz.
Yeah,
their point total now is way lower.
Williams Racing. Who was it? It was Sainz. It was Sainz Racing for Williams that finished 5th ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, man. He got the.
It was crazy. When has Williams ever been doing this well?
I'm trying to think of the last time. Albon led, was it Suzuka last year for like the majority of it, I think, or something. Kidding. But that was like, I mean, cool. I don't even think he ended up finished in the top 5 after that. No. But yeah, it's
nuts. Yeah, and in other news, what was I gonna say? That's why I was talking about like all the issues at Ferrari. Apparently, as opposed to like McLaren and everything like that, when they want to make some high pressure decisions, it's not like a committee like it is on Ferrari. If you want to get something passed through or make a decision, there's a bunch of people that have to vote on it. It's a very bloated team from what I hear, as opposed to other ones where it's like, okay, you want to do this? Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And that's what really hinders a lot of Ferrari, I guess. But, how about Kimi Antonelli? Now the youngest driver to get a pole for the sprint race.
Yeah, he keeps every week. It's something new that he's doing. It's like he's almost like a little.
I think
Jokic.
he finished like 8th or something, right?
Let me see here. 6th. He actually finished behind.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Alex Albon actually that finished 5th.
That's what it was. Yeah.
But Sainz finished 9th. So I mean, that's 2 top finishes for Williams, which is pretty damn good, considering Ferrari had a 7 and 8. So
damn. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty sad.
when is the next one here? What do we got?
May 18th, and it's the Emilia Romana. However you say that. Ramona. Ramona. It is Ramona. Yeah. Can't pronounce stuff. But it is May 18th, 7 a.m.
All right, another early
2
one.
weeks away.
Another little early one.
Yep.
Well, let us move into the UFC Fight Night.
We're going to cover this real
It was a
quick.
pretty good one. I didn't get to watch that much of it because of the immense amount of sports I was
We had
having
a lot
to
going on
ingest
that night.
at one time. But
Let's hear it, Mills Lane.
Let's get into it.
Let's get it on!
Yes, so our own Aurora, Colorado, Corey Sandhagen dominates Davison Figueiredo, and he basically broke his leg. He popped his knee. He popped his knee. I'm not sure what the official injury was, but he got into a position with like a grappling position to where he said after the fight, he was like, it basically got to a point where he had two options. He could either lay down on his back or he could move this direction, and I was going to pop his knee. And so he didn't lay back, so I popped his knee.
Yeah.
And then not long after, he just hammer fisted him because Figueiredo was in so much pain.
Yeah, he was just grabbing his knee like, ah!
But yeah, this just propels Sandhagen. I mean, he dominated the fight. Now he is no doubt the number one contender. He said afterwards, they asked him, like, who would you rather fight, O'Malley or Merab? He was like, I don't care. Like, I just want to fight for the belt. We're a big fan of Sandhagen. Listened to a lot of podcasts he's done. He's a really grounded, humbled guy. I would really like to see him get his shot. I kind of would hope it's against O'Malley because Merab is just a killer. Just so good with the ground game and wrestling. But, O'Malley will get a second shot against Merab here soon. I want to say it's like 1 or 2 pay-per-views away. But, yeah, we shall see. In other news, this weekend we do have another UFC pay-per-view in Canada.
317.
317, I think. Yes.
I lied.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up when there's 3
they're flying through. Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Medellina. Bilal is a minus 225 favorite, and Jack is a plus 185. He is fighting out of Australia.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
Yeah, it should be really good. Jack, his most recent big win is against Gilbert Burns, so he's definitely fought some really good contenders, had moved up in the division. It should be pretty interesting. I'm not sure if right now Ramadan's going on, but when I was watching Countdown, that's something that they were addressing. So I don't know if he's having to fast during this. I'm not aware of like how long that goes on and stuff.
I forget how long it is, but yeah, you got.
Yeah, I think he might be having to deal with that. But I mean, I don't really see anybody beating Muhammad. I mean, he just ran through Leon Edwards and was pitched a complete shutout. I know Jack has got really good striking, but I mean, if Bilal gets him down, my prediction for this fight, a lot of people are going to be mad because Bilal is going to get him down, get his back, and just control the fight for most of the time. And not finish it, but that's just the way it's going to go.
Apparently Ramadan's 29 to 30 days.
Yeah, but is it happening right now?
I
thought we were in it because I think that's why they brought it up on Countdown.
Evening of Tuesday. Oh, it's already. It says it's. Oh, this is next year's.
I don't know.
That's not right. It already ended. It said February 28th to March 29th.
Okay, I thought so too. I don't know why they brought that up. Maybe it was like during his training camp or something. Who knows? But Valentina Shevchenko and Manon Fiorot is the co-main event. I was shocked by this when I looked into this fight that Shevchenko is the underdog.
That is surprising.
Defending her belt.
Yeah.
But when I was watching Countdown, this lady from France, Fiorot, she's like, I think 14-1. She's got really good striking. She's got a good coach there in France. I don't know much about her. I can't really speak on it too much. But I'd be really shocked to see. I mean, I really wonder why they're placing Shevchenko as the underdog. I know she's lost to Grasso in the past. She has been upset. She's getting kind of older. This is a toss-up. I mean, plus 125 to minus 150. I mean, that's a coin flip.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. That should be interesting.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of other great... they always say Canada gets the best cards. They also got Jose Aldo on that card. I forgot to look through the rest of it. I should have that pulled up. But yeah, Jose Aldo is the third fight from the main event on the main card, which is just awesome. I mean, the guy's still one of the GOATs.
Yeah, I was trying to see if we could get to that real quick. UFC 317.
I should have typed it in.
It's okay. But yeah, there was. Did you see that post I made today about what's his name, Azamat Bekov?
I didn't.
So somebody posted about they're like, "How's your $50,000 bonus?" Because he got.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
And he's like, pretty good. He's like, what am I going to have to pay on taxes? And somebody told him, he's like, you just ruined my mood.
Yeah.
It's like 30%.
You would think he would probably try to look into that.
Yeah, he was pretty bummed.
nuts. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, you get a big lump sum of money and the government wants it sliced.
It's nuts. You got to pay your coaches. You got to pay all these different things.
Well, that's the thing nobody thinks about. It's like that. Those people have like a team they got to pay.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not just training yourself. You've got like 3 coaches. You got
fighters.
Nutritionists probably.
Yeah. Unless you're a champ, you're not making a whole lot of money.
No, these guys, they're basically like 100,000 heirs, more or less.
Yeah,
you know, like you're
much.
You're like
probably triple digits.
Decent living, but not a
also,
living worth getting your ass kicked.
No, yeah, you're putting your body on the line. You're cutting weight all the time,
and the weight cuts are getting crazy too.
Yeah, it is rough. But I think we are ready to hear. And I got a little story about John Daly that I want to mention too.
Oh, man. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. John Daly's about to grip it, rip it, and hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man.
So dang far.
No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large.
Hit it hard.
Yes, I saw a clip the other day where John Daly, this lady, had laid down and stuck a golf tee in between her butt cheeks, and he just drilled a ball.
He gripped it and ripped it?
Right. While she was just holding it with her butt. Like, dude.
I've seen him do that. I've seen videos of guys laying down and letting him do it out of their mouth, which is insane.
No way, man.
I've watched videos where guys get hit with, like, doing that stuff.
Hurt so much. It's like, that reminds me of The Last of Us. Man.
Yeah. I haven't gotten into that one yet. We need to start that one.
Spoiler.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
But yes.
The DDOE this week is the probably best Olympian in United States history, Miss Katie Ledecky.
Yeah, I mean, probably second only to what's his name?
No, she's got more.
She's got more now.
She's got more medals and gold medals. Yep.
Well, good on her, man. Look at her go. She gets the daily dose of excellence just for that.
Right. No, but just here recently, she recorded a time of 8 minutes and 4 seconds and 12 hundredths of a second at the TYR Pro Swim Series in Fort Lauderdale, shaving 0.6 of a second off her previous record and finishing almost 20 seconds ahead of her closest competitor. She now holds the top 10 times ever recorded in the event. She just continues to break records.
Yeah, and it says here, for almost 13 years, Ledecky has dominated long-distance freestyle swimming, setting record after record that no one else can touch, often competing against only herself.
Jesus.
When you're that good, it's kind of like Tiger Woods back in the day, where he's just like, basically, I have to break something or not show up to lose.
Yeah. If you've ever watched any of her races in the Olympics too, it's insane where she is so fast, and it's mind-boggling how she is this fast, where she is lapping everybody else.
Yeah.
You'll see her lead, and then it's just her. She'll finish, and then she starts reading a book. She starts getting like some tea and having it. And then maybe like 2 minutes later, the rest of the pack comes through and finishes.
Yeah.
That's how far in advance she is.
She's just like hanging out, getting a drink.
So it's just incredible at
hanging
this
out at the
age.
bar.
And after this, she was quoted in saying she will be racing 3 years from now in the LA Olympics, when she'll be, I think, 38 or 37.
Yeah, it's incredible how long she's been
You know
able
what?
to continue doing
No, I think she might be younger than that. How old is Katie Ledecky?
Let's find out. 28. She's 28.
I was gonna say I thought
But
she
in
was
4
way younger
years.
than that.
It's in 4 years. The next one.
The Summer Olympics will be 3 years from this summer.
Okay, so she'll be like 32.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, that's old to be competing because I mean, the majority of Olympic athletes are like under 24 years old.
Especially gymnasts and stuff. It's crazy.
Unless you're like doing the shooting thing like that guy from Lithuania.
Oh, yeah. That guy was wild.
Yeah, everybody all like those crazy like cyborg setup. And he's just like, nah, I got it. Hand in the pocket.
Easy money.
Yeah, no big deal.
We got some great stories from that last Olympics. The break dancer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lives in infamy.
Yep, so true.
Indubitably.
Well, that wraps it up for
Scruggs.
another episode.
Yep, episode 131 in the can.
Yep.
We thank you all for tuning in each and every week. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you to Justin Graver for coming on.
Grave Digger.
Yes.
Yes, make sure to go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. Make sure to subscribe to YouTube, hit that notification button, and we'll see you all later. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Love you, buddy.
Love you. All right. We did it.